Auburn pitcher Zach Crotchfelt joins us on the special edition of the Uptempo podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, Auburn family? Welcome back to the Uptempo podcast, a special edition of the Uptempo podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Smith, joined as always by my guy, Blake Lane at 251 Mobile, Alabama. And as you see him right there, our guy, Auburn pitcher Zach Crotchfelt. How are you, my dude?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me on, and excited to get to talking.
Yeah, long time coming, man. We've been talking about doing this for a while. Blake, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well, ready for the weekend. I know the football has Big Cat. I know everybody's excited about that, but I'm ready to kick this thing off with Zach, Dustin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First question, Zach, right out the gate, man. You're from New Jersey, a little bit of a stroke from Alabama, man. Why Auburn? Why Butch Thompson?
Yeah, so when I was going through my whole recruiting process around my freshman summer, I played for the Niners baseball program, which is like a New Jersey only baseball program. So the guy who runs it, Rob Maida, great guy, love working with him. Him and Carl have been best friends for maybe like 20 years, maybe even more. With Carl being a Jersey guy as well. That's where the connection kind of came from, and they got to see me pitch a few times, and we hopped on the phone, and I don't know, man, they just make you feel like family when you're on the phone with them. And I don't got any siblings or anything, and I'm 16 hours away from home. I want to feel like family. I want to feel like I got people there that got my back. So, they just made it real easy, and just laying out the floor plan for what my college career was going to look like, and just building the bond with those guys before I even committed. It was always easy conversations. Made my parents. People talk about Butch, and people talk about the players that get produced from a program like Auburn, and it kind of just it makes sense to come to a place like this.
Zach, man, I want to ask you this. Talking a little bit about New Jersey, being from there and experiencing Auburn, Alabama. How hard was it? Like you said, being 16 hours away, man, no family, no anything, and just adapting to the Southern lifestyle.
Yeah, man, it's definitely not easy. I will say, like, the biggest thing for me was really just the distance, not having any siblings or anything. It was hard on me, hard on my parents. It wasn't, hey, Mom, can you make me a sandwich? It was, I got to make my own sandwich now. Same thing with laundry and keeping up with the place and whatnot. So I think just as far as just the distance and not having your people there, you don't really know anybody. That's kind of tough. And there's so many, there's 30,000 kids on campus, but when you don't know anybody down here, you still feel alone, still feel, like you ain't got nobody to lean on and stuff like that. So it was definitely tough with that. And then to go along with it, it's my first semester of college in general. Like, the school was just way different than what I was used to, and super difficult compared to high school. So there's just a lot of changes going on at once. So it's like, it's overwhelming when everything's happening at once, but eventually I found my groove, and leaned on some people, got real close with my roommate Chris Stanfield, and just made things a whole lot easier.
Dustin, I know you got something.
I was going to ask you, how long did it take you to get the pitching in this Alabama heat, bro?
I will say, I think I got lucky, because if I had to pitch like maybe like 2 weeks ago, like in the heat of the summer, I don't know if I could do it. Like, the sun is just, it's different compared to the sun in New Jersey for sure. But I'd say the biggest challenge was when it would rain and it was hot out, and it's like all sticky and muggy, and it's like extra hot. So I'm still trying to get used to it. It's gonna take me a while.
I've been here 32 years, man. You won't.
I'm sure I won't. And then whenever I'm off to Arizona or Florida or wherever the next stop is, it's gonna be maybe even worse. So ready for that.
Zach, speaking of Chris Stanfield, and you saying that that's your roommate, how cool of a guy is Chris, man? How easy was it getting to know him and you guys gelling together?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say when we first got here and like early on into the first semester, he was here in the summer. I wasn't, so that's kind of, he had already met some of the guys, became friends, whatever. But honestly, it just came a lot from like early on. It was just me, like still trying to get used to things, still trying to warm up to people because I don't know how the people were down here. Truly, the southern hospitality is nice, but I didn't know how people really were. So it took some time to get, to warm up to each other, get accustomed to living with him. But I mean, when it happened so fast, like we got close real fast, and found we got some things in common. And I mean, we hop on the video games together or throwing some baseball. It's easy to just be around him. Everybody loves him. He's a great guy. He just turned 20 yesterday, so happy birthday to him if he sees this. But yeah, he's a great guy, great family. Like I don't have one complaint about him or his family. It's just awesome people.
You
And
hopping on the show?
on top of that, yeah, oh, definitely. I would definitely recommend him get on here. He's just a great kid. I love him to death. He's like a brother to me now. So,
Love that.
they told me when some of the relationships you make in college, you're gonna take with you for the rest of your life. And I mean, they weren't wrong. Me and Chris, we're close, and I expect we're gonna be at each other's, weddings and baby showers and all that stuff. And he'll be there for me. I'll be there for him. We're just we mesh good. So
Love it.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Zach. Well, what I was asking you about the show was on the sticks. You said you hop on the sticks. You hopping on
oh
MLB
gosh,
this show. You trying to get it?
man. Look, I got a tricky relationship with the show. I
I
played my
think we
first
all
one
do.
was yeah, right. My first one was MLB The Show 20, and I couldn't figure out how to use the PCI, so I was never good. And then this year, 23 came out, and me and Chris were talking. I was like, I think I'll buy it because you're gonna play it. We'll grind it together, and they had co-op, so that was good. But man, I fell off it. I'm just not interested anymore. It's too repetitive for me. So.
It is that.
Yeah,
Zach's. I played Dustin one night, and we were going through his lineup, and he had Josh Donaldson in his lineup. Now, I know this is an Auburn podcast. No shade. When he was at Auburn, he was great. But look, I watch a lot of Yankees baseball. Zach, I know you're a big Yankees fan. But JD hadn't been cutting it, brother. And I told my buddy Dustin, I said, you got to get him out of that lineup immediately. Zach, what's your fandom with the Yankees, man? How much do you love going to the Bronx and watching that team play?
Nah, I mean, when I was younger, I would go to the Bronx, and I think I only got to go to the old Yankee Stadium maybe once. Maybe I didn't even go. I was probably, if I did, too young to remember going. But I'll say when I was maybe from like 8 to 15, 16, somewhere in there, like I really enjoy going. It's like you talk about Josh Donaldson. He might not be producing, but I love all my guys in
Yeah.
pinstripes no matter what. I'm a diehard. My parents are diehards. Like I just love the Yankees. I mean, one of the coolest things was we went to a Yankee game for my dad's birthday a few years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And we got great seats down the right field line. And Judge actually came over to us, and standing next to that dude is something else. Like he looks big on TV, but when you're next to him in person, and he's massive. It was pretty incredible. But I love all my guys on the pinstripes, and going to the Bronx is awesome. But I gotta say, nothing compared to going to Atlanta's new stadium. That's incredible. First time, and I was just in awe. Like I was more concerned with the stadium than the actual game going on most of the time. But yeah.
What's your favorite road trip in the SEC this year?
Oh, favorite road trip. Well, I got to pick one we won.
Yeah, for sure. That trip to South Carolina was sweet, brother.
I actually didn't go to that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. I had injured my back in a game, and I told Coach Thompson, look, I don't think it's a good idea if I go out there and pitch. I'm not confident, and I also if you need me to pitch, I'm there. But at the same time, you can only do as good as how much conviction you have. And if I'm not confident, then I'm not going to give my best stuff to the team. And I told him, look, I don't want to take up a roster spot. If the plan is for me not to pitch, don't let me take up a roster spot. I want you guys to go there and win. and if there's a guy that you could put in my spot and he's going to help the team, I'd much rather have that than me just sitting there not able to do anything, you know. But I'd say Ole Miss was fun. The weather was horrible, but we were beating up on them, so we were all having
Right.
fun. Let's see, where did we go after LSU? That was Ole Miss, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, SEC tournament was a lot of fun. Just honestly, the atmosphere. Like I played in that stadium for East Coast Pro like 3 years ago in the summer, and I played there, but they didn't have any of the stuff up on the walls. You know,
Yeah.
there was no people there. It was just scouts and a couple parents in the stands. But man, when they have everything, you know, they got the banners up, and we're getting police escorts to the field. Like,
Right.
you know, it was so much fun. I definitely miss the SEC tournament. I want to go back there next year.
Zach, I want to ask you, man. Joseph Gonzalez announced that he was returning to the Auburn Tigers, and we saw everything that happened with the pitching staff throughout the year, the growth that happened. We saw Nelly; he grew up on us real quick. You grew up on us real quick. Chase Alsop, the strides that he made down the back end of the season, it was phenomenal to watch. What is the excitement around this pitching staff, this bullpen? With Will Cannon coming back and Tanner Bauman, there's got to be a lot of high hopes in that clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, and then I mean, we got all those guys, and you add in Teef, and we all talked with them, and we all love him. So that's a good start. When we all are, you know, love the plan that he's got going, and see how he interacts with us, and we're all for him. So that's a great start. And I mean, all those names you mentioned are going to be huge pieces this year to our success, um, and Gonzo coming back is huge for us. You know, it just gives us more depth in the pen. You know, we can Gonzo. I pray to God he stays healthy. I want him to play for us. I want him to have a long, successful career. But I think if, you know, he's back in the starting rotation, it kind of allows one more guy to go to the pen, or, you know, maybe he fills in for that Tommy Vale spot. So it just helps add depth to what we got going. And I think the consensus between all of us is like we went through so much as a pitching staff last year, through the ups and downs and the lowest of lows and highs of highs, right? I think like we're just so close. We have such a good bond, and the chemistry wasn't really there in the beginning of the year. And we kind of found that towards you know, right around South Carolina, we started to find that. And I think now that we're going into a new season, we're just going to take what we already built together. And I mean, we have the majority of our same guys coming back, plus some new arms that are going to, you know, help us even more. I just think that pitching is going to really hold it down this year. And then on the offensive side, we got a lot of good bats returning. And on top of that, we got some good bats coming in. I know that I'm not a hitter, but I still like to get in there and take some swings here and there. And I hit with Colt. Sad to see him go, but I'm happy for him because, you know, he got paid and he's starting his professional career, so that's great. But hitting with guys like Cole and Eric, he's coming in. He's from Panama. Like, I just see a lot of potential for us, and I see a good chance of us winning the whole thing. Like, you know, Butch preaches. Yeah, I'm just gonna go out and say it. Like, Butch
Love
preaches
that.
self confidence and everything like that. And I'll be the last person to tell you we're not gonna win. Like, I got so much confidence in these guys, and compared to what other teams are losing and what we're bringing in and what we're holding on to, like, if it's gonna happen in my college career, it's gonna be this year, and I see it
Love it.
happening. I'm excited for it. So just want to. I'm already, you know, biting tooth and nail to have the season start right now. So
Mm,
we're all just ready to go and get it done. Show everybody that, you know, they've been doubting the wrong team. So
let's go.
yes, sir.
Dustin, you got something?
Yeah, Zach, when y'all were so, you know, what was it, 5-10 to start SEC play, if I'm correct, right? Somewhere in that area. And then obviously y'all go on this long streak and get hot. What is that moment like in the locker room when all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're starting to find the strike zone? Obviously the bats were hot all year. What is that like when y'all as a staff kind of start pulling that together?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two perspectives, depending on what position the guys play. I think a lot of the guys on the offensive side and the position players, like, I think for them it was probably like finally, you know what I mean, the pitcher's
Yeah.
coming in because we were not. we're not doing the best job that we could, and the offense was there and we weren't. So that was on us. And I think when the pitching started to turn around and the offense kept up, the pitching staff, we were just, it was almost like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, we found what we need to do. We know what it's supposed to look like now. We know how to do it. We just got to go out and execute. And, that's when it becomes fun and it becomes easy. And then we get on a streak like we did. And then, same thing from the offensive side. It's just, I think that's when that chemistry starts to come into play when, our offense was putting up runs and the pitching wasn't getting it done. So it could lead to a lack of trust, or it could lead to, well, who knows? We could do good and the other side. It just creates separation. We can't get close like that. So as much as building chemistry comes from outside of playing and winning and picking each other up and stuff like that, like there's still a lot that comes directly from that. And I think like I didn't really realize that just playing high school ball, and I grew up with a lot of those kids, so we always had chemistry. We knew how to, if we went down a couple runs, we weren't worried because it was like we've been playing with each other. We've seen ourselves come back from those losses. But I think when you got a lot of new guys, we lost a lot of big time players last year. I just think there's like a little doubt in everybody's mind. Like, how is it going to be? Are we going to be able to do the same thing we did the last year? And we had big expectations and a lot of, shoes to fill and stuff like that. So I think it makes the chemistry hard when things are like that. But once we came together, it was fun, man. That's the only way that I could describe it. It was just fun baseball. And I mean, it's not fun to lose, obviously, but when you start winning and everyone's just got each other's backs, like it was just so much fun. That was second half of the season was the best baseball I've played in a long time.
It was a blast watching y'all get hot, Zach. It was fun. It was fun to do the podcast with Dustin every night after your series and beating LSU and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. We never give up on you, and even when you got put out of the regional, we still didn't give up on you. We love each and every one of you. Honestly, we devote our weekends to watching the Auburn Tigers play baseball, man, and we love it. But I know you mentioned Coach Teef and him coming on, and Coach Rock stepping down. How excited are you to work with a guy that pitched in the bigs and is coming to the college level to drop his knowledge on your game?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously no disrespect or shade towards Rock. He's a great guy. I think he did a good job for short notice coming in and been in that manager role, and to come in and kind of, take a different role. I think he did a great job, and we're all really grateful that he was there to, help out and give us what we needed. But to look forward and look at his resume, look at Teef's resume, look at, what he brings to the table, his knowledge. And, I think this is the thing. Coach Rock was old school, and there's nothing wrong with old school. Everything works for a different person because everyone's different. But for me personally, at least, and I know a few other guys feel this way with Teef, he's a little more new school. He's got the knowledge with the Kinetrax, and he's introducing some new things and kind of, trying to transform our bullpen into more like a pitching lab and make changes where he sees. I think the experience from pro ball, him seeing what was there, and also knowing like how to go about getting certain things done and getting certain things for the program, like it's just a whole different level above collegiate. You know what I mean? Because they do things. It's the pros. They do them like pros. They do things like they're the pros.
Yep.
So for him to be able to bring that knowledge to us, it's almost. I look at it in two ways. It's like, okay, we have an advantage over other guys because who else is getting that? There might be some other teams that get that, but now we have it. And then I also look at like for our development for our futures, like we're getting accustomed to what things are going to look like at the next level, and we're still in college. And if we can do things like professionals, when we get to the professional level, it's just, all right, we're right into it. We've already been doing this. And it also puts us another step above. We're doing things like professionals, and other teams are doing things like collegiate teams. We just got we got the upper hand on them. So I think it's great. Everyone loves him so far, and I don't know. I think it's great addition. Couldn't ask for a better guy to come and help us out for sure.
So what's
Love it.
something that you'll be working on with him? What is something that you're trying to get better on coming into the next season?
Yeah, I mean, I used to throw a cutter way back, and I could never get it to how I wanted it to be. And the season was coming up for high school ball, so I ended up scratching it. And the more and more that I watch baseball, I'm like, man, like where are the cutters? Like
Hmm.
there's a few guys that there's a few guys that throw cutters and they're gross, and guys have trouble hitting them because there's just not a lot of guys that throw them. And I was like, I need something that's gonna get me to the next level. It's gonna put me above other guys. It's gonna give me an edge over the guys I'm gonna face. So I think the biggest thing for me is working with him on my cutter, working with him on my slider. It's really my off speed stuff. Not to say my fastball doesn't need work. It could always get better, and I could have better command. But I think the main focus would be my off speed stuff.
Can't get much better, man.
you
It
throw
can't
No,
get
gas,
much
Zach.
better.
You throw
hey,
gas,
hey,
bro.
if I'm not throwing 100, you guys better have me back on the podcast and scold me for an hour, okay?
Yeah, you throw
It's
gas.
gonna happen, but
Come on now.
it's I know it's got room, and I can be so much better, and I just think the knowledge that he has that
Mhm.
I don't have, like that can really just help elevate my mind, and maybe give me some new cues that give me the a little edge on some of the other guys. So I'm honestly, whatever information he has to give me, whatever knowledge I want it. Like I don't,
Yeah.
whether it's about John Armstrong, who's a side armor. I want to hear what he's saying to him, because maybe I can take something away from him, because he's got so much good information in his brain that that he's going to give to us. So I'm just ready to be a student, honestly, and just listen and take in as much as I can from him, and use as much as I can to help me succeed in the season, and along with our other guys.
Love that, man. That was a heck of an answer. One thing I do want to ask you, Zach, is the renovations that are taking place at the ballpark, Plainsman Park, man. How excited is it to see Auburn baseball growing and expanding and kind of catching up with these other programs like in Arkansas, or trying to chase a Mississippi State and LSU and Ole Miss? Are the guys kind of excited for this thing to expand?
Yeah, I think I think some of the older guys are a little less excited because they'll be done here. And just like I'll be gone once a decent amount of stuff is done as well.
Yeah.
But I think I just look at like what I want to leave a legacy behind, obviously, just like everybody else does. And uh, when I'm here at Auburn, it's different than when I'm 5, 10 years down the road, and I'm looking back like, I'm not gonna be in the same position. But I do want the kids that come through here to have. I went to Florida, and I was like, oh my god, like this place is incredible. I want people to walk into our stadium and be like, oh my gosh, this place. Look what they did. Look at the new stuff they did. It looks great, and that brings more fans in. It brings more money in to help the program. There's so many benefits. But as far as like how the guys feel, I think everybody's excited. The plans look amazing. I just know that when I'm gone and all this stuff is done, I know it's gonna look great, and the guys that are here playing are gonna love to play in it. It's gonna make the atmosphere even better. I mean, I don't even think we need the changes. I like our park how it is. It's got that. I just feel like a lot of other places is so new, and this place has more history to it, a little bit less done to it than other parks, and I love that. I think it's got that older school feel to it, more original, less like new school or whatever. But everybody's excited about it. I know Coach Coach Thompson's excited. We see him just staring up into the air like it look like sometimes. So he's got it in his mind. I know we're all excited for it. So
Love that. A better green monster than the one in Fenway, huh?
yeah, I don't know about that. Boston, I hate Boston, but that Green Monster, man, it's so iconic. I love
Yeah,
having it. It makes me almost kind of feel like I'm playing in Fenway a little bit.
love that. Dustin, you got one more?
Yeah, buddy. Before we get into some kind of questions to get to know you better, one more baseball thing. Who is somebody that's under the radar, man? Who's somebody that's not really being talked about right now, but you think might have a good season this year and make some noise?
My other roommate. So I got two roommates. I got Chris Stanfield is my one roommate, and I got Cameron Keyshock is my other roommate, and
Yeah.
uh, he's been I forget where he's playing. It's somewhere in like Virginia or DC, like right over there. Um, I was his throwing partner last year, so I saw how all his stuff moves. I mean, he's a 6'7" Greek god. He's got the longest arm. Like he's throwing the ball from like 50 feet away, and I can't lie, his fastball's flat, and he's gonna see this and he's gonna be like, "Really, man?" But his fastball's flat. But I will say, in my opinion, he's got a major league sinker. Like it is one of the most disgusting pitches I've ever seen at like 94, 95. And not many people make contact, and if they do, it was Bryson just fielding the ball and throwing it over to first, or Cole getting a nice ground ball and throwing it to first. So I think he's had a lot of success playing summer ball, and I think I see him being our closer next year. I just see him coming back, just the command way better, the off speed stuff that he has, just playing a tick up. His sinker again, I think it's just disgusting. I don't know who's hitting that pitch. I see him being our closer, getting 15 saves for us next year. Like this dude's
Ooh.
legit. I think of course, I want to see all my guys in the league one day, but I wouldn't sit here and lie and say if he's not league worthy, then he is. But I think he'll be there one day. I think he's that good.
Zach, I love the predictions you're making tonight. We got a national championship. Key shots coming in with 15 saves. My boy's on fire, bro.
Well, so, I wanna give us something to shoot for. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Go big home.
yes, sir. Butch said it's the expectation, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Zach, we want to get to know you a little bit, man, and we had Coop on here and we had Tanner on here, and we got to know both of them at the end of those episodes, man. So we just want to ask you a couple questions, and I'll start it off first. I'm a big New York City guy. I love it up there, and I know you're right outside from there, and I know it carries a big Italian base. The food up there, in my opinion, is phenomenal. What is your favorite dish in the city?
Okay, so I mean, if we're going in the city, you gotta go pizza. There's no two ways around it. I mean, and you can't go wrong. You can get anything on it. It's just gonna be good. And I get this a lot, like, oh, what makes the pizza up there so much better than here? What makes the bagel so much better? Well, it's just straight up the water. Something in the water. I don't know what it is. There's something in the water that's just is good. So
Yeah.
definitely pizza, but it's a different story if you go outside, a state outside, and you go to Jersey. I recommend you get some pork roll, like a little pork roll, egg and cheese in the morning on a hard roll, salt, pepper, ketchup. Man,
Oh,
I'm
whoa! You got to explain this.
all right. So nobody knows about it because it's a New Jersey only thing, really. But pork roll is straight up just like a roll of pork. It's like thicker bologna. It doesn't taste like bologna. It's like thicker than bologna, but you fry it up, man. I would say it's like spam, but spam is gross.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say spam, but it's kind of that idea. It's hard to explain. It's just good, man. It's
Okay.
got all that good greasy fattiness in there, and it's not good for you by any means, but it's delicious nonetheless.
Well, Zach, I got to ask you this: when moving down to Auburn, all right, and the change of scenery, what was your go-to spot to eat at in Auburn?
It's tough. It's tough because like I'm so inclined to say like Chick-fil-A, but that's such a bad answer. Like be like kid only eats Chick-fil-A. Like what's Auburn baseball feed these guys, But man, I'd say like there's this spot right under one of the apartments that some of our guys lived at. It's called Your Pie. I mean, it's not. It's kind of like a chain restaurant. It's not like I don't get the pizza because it doesn't compare to Northeast pizza, but they got some good pasta there. So I think that's my spot. Like a lot of nights before a game or something, I just need some carbs for the next day. It's just an easy pasta spot, and it's good price for being a college student. It's like one serving's like $10, but you can get any topping, like 8 toppings free. So I get like chicken and broccoli, meatball, bacon, the whole nine, and it's good. So I say your pie. They need to
Love
hook
that.
me up with a little NIL deal or something.
There you go. There
I
you
got
go.
much not to have one.
Dustin?
Yeah, buddy. So, music, man. I know you know, New Jersey guy, like Jay-Z, stuff like that. What are you putting on before the game? And then just relaxing, hanging out. What are you listening to?
Man, I'll tell you what I'm not listening to is country music. I think,
Oh, come on,
and
Zach.
that's gonna offend the people, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine because it's too, life down here and the music, everything is just slow paced compared to up there. Everyone's always in a rush. The music is fast paced. A lot of people like rap, like myself. Um, but if I'm, when I was younger, my dad showed me, yeah, Jay-Z, Eminem, all those guys, Biggie, Tupac. But for me, I'm more into like the newer stuff. So a lot of like NBA YoungBoy, Kodak Black, Lil Baby, 21 Savage, those kind of guys. Just I like to get in demon mode before the games. You know what I mean? I got to be in that mindset, like I'm just ready to tear through anybody who's in front of me. And then I listen to the same artists. They just got, they're versatile, so they got different
Right,
music,
right.
vibey
Yeah.
music. So we got, I'll throw that on and just kind of vibe out, hang out, and
I'll
it
give you
helps.
Kodak.
Chris or me and Chris love the same music, so that's kind of one of the things that we bonded over for sure.
Yeah, Tallahassee boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll give you Kodak. I'll give you Kodak. I like Kodak.
yeah. Come on now, I can
Yeah.
put you onto some songs if you
There's
need.
there's an age gap, Zach. Every time I ask you guys these questions, man, there's this 10, 11 year age gap.
Right.
But I do like Kodak a lot.
Heck yeah.
Zach. Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. What else? What else could we ask him, Dustin? Favorite thing to do outside of baseball? Just a Friday night, Saturday night. What's your go-to move, man?
Man, I'll tell you, it's nothing at night. It's actually
Okay.
gonna be about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna drive down to the beach, and I'm gonna hop on a little party boat, and I'm gonna go fishing for 4 hours, 5 hours. There is nothing like I like bass fishing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I'm not the best at sitting there and jigging the stuff, but I'm getting there. I'm learning like bass fishing is the thing around here, so I'm getting more used to that. But there's nothing like having, especially high school ball. We'd have 5 games a week, and all I want to do on a Saturday morning is I don't want to sleep in. I want to go get out there on the boat and just drop down a line, and I can kind of just look at the horizon. And man, I just clear my mind out there and think about the game, think about what I need to work on, and it's so like peaceful and freeing and refreshing to just be out there, just me and the fish. And I
Mhm.
love eating fish too. So if I catch some, then I got dinner for the night too. So, but I guess it's kind of weird. Not a lot of people are into that up there. It's a lot more like old guys, or maybe like a dad and his son. But I go alone. I'll just sit on the boat and got my setup going, catch a few fish, talk to the deckhands that I know. I've been going there for years, so just nice and freeing fishing. So that's what
Love that.
Sound like a future Tampa Bay Ray to me, Zach.
I wouldn't mind it. I
Uh,
played. I played in. It was so nice and like chill in there, not too hot. It was perfect.
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
you want to make
Come to the trot, baby.
no, you want to make money, Zach. You don't want to go to Tampa. All right.
Yeah, I know. That's we've had a couple youth camps, right? And
You'll get
all the
traded to
kids
make
want to
money.
know. Yeah, yeah. All the kids want to know. They're like, "Oh, what team you want to get drafted by?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't really care. Just whoever pays me the most when I get there. That's all I'm concerned about. So yeah, I wouldn't mind being with the Rays if the number was right.
There you go.
I'm not specific to one team. The Yankees will be cool. Don't get me wrong, but
You still get
I'll
to play
take
in New York
whatever.
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. My family's nice and close. They can come watch.
Zach, being from the Northeast, not really big into college football, I guess you could say, right?
Right.
Coming down here, did you see it being any different? Are you into college football now? Are you do you like it, or do you still prefer the pro game, or what?
So I've never really been. I'm not a sports watcher. Like I like to
Okay.
be in playing. When I watch baseball games, I'm staring at the pitcher. I don't care who's in the box. I just want to see what's coming out of his hand. But you're right. College football, even NFL, it's not as big as maybe if you go to Atlanta and you got the Falcons, or you go to Tampa Bay and you got the Bucks, right? It's just not as big as that. But for me, when I went to the college games, I'm friends with a good amount of the football players, so I don't got a problem saying this because I said it to their face. But they were not good last year.
We
And
said everybody
everybody
said
knows
that.
that. But I think this year they're gonna do real well. So I got that to look forward to. But I was really just go for like the festivities before. They'd have the helicopters or the jets fly over, and the eagle flew, and I'd stay for 45 minutes before the game. We get through the first quarter, and we were down by 2 touchdowns, so I left. And that's kind of how it went. But I will say the LSU game, great game. I stayed for the whole thing. That was the only game I stayed the whole thing for, and it was pretty fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to this next season. Just meeting some of the new guys that they're bringing in, and with Coach Hugh Freeze. Like I just think I don't know. I'm not gonna make a crazy prediction with football because I'm not in it and I don't know about it. But I think they'll do well this year. I think they
You'll get to
got
stay. Yeah, you'll get to stay at the
yeah,
games. You won't have to leave early. Trust me
yeah,
on that.
exactly. I'm down for it.
Zach, one last thing I do want to mention here, man, is your mom stayed in contact with us throughout the season, and one thing I want to say is she is a treasure, man. She is top notch. One thing I'll tell you is every time you went to step on the mound, brother, she would send us a prayer, all right, for you, and she would always. I mean, now she was your toughest critic. Now I'll give you that.
Oh, I know
Right.
that, man.
But she every time, man, she was in your corner, and I just wanted you to know that. And we think the world of her. She was absolutely phenomenal all year, brother. And so I just wanted you to know that before we get off of here.
Yeah, man, you got me a little teary eyed over here. I
Yeah.
love my mom and dad to death. You're right. I mean, she's my number one fan, number one supporter. My favorite thing with her on game days is I get my pep talks before the games, and man, I just love that woman to death. Like her heart is so pure, and um, she's also not the type of woman to tell me something like that. It's just she's not doing it to be like, oh, I sent these guys a prayer and I'm talking to these guys, blah blah. It's out of just her good heart and how much she cares and how much she loves and her thing is if you guys were real supportive of me and the whole team and that's my mama. If you're with me
Yeah.
about me and you support me, she's gonna love and support you right back. So, I know she's gonna end up watching this. So I love you, mom, and thanks for always being there for me. So I appreciate you telling me that, and thank you for the kind words about her.
Yeah, Zach. She's awesome, man. So, Zach, we appreciate you joining us. We're gonna wrap this one up for everybody listening. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Go over to Apple, Spotify, catch us there. We really appreciate for each and every one of you tuning in, and we will catch you Monday morning, 10 a.m. talking Big Cat Weekend
Whoa.
and some Auburn football. And
Sure.
we will leave you with a War Damn Eagle, and we
Well,
are
damn
out.
Eagle.
Or
There we
even
go.
Good.